All right, hey guys, I wanted to run through this problem because it's a great problem, but it is difficult, and it kind of takes everything in the chapter and puts it together for you. So before we get to read this one, I do want to start with just kind of doing a simpler problem without any fractions that we can kind of think about. So let's say that we have boys and girls at a school, and let's say the ratio is 3 to 4 boys to girls. So that's how we write it, okay? So every time, I still to this day, if I have a ratio problem, I still to this day, just to make sure I don't get confused, I like to write what's on top, what's on bottom. So boys and girls. Okay, so and we've kind of been doing that, and we worked on it last year, so I'm not going to dwell on that, but just remember that. So boys to girls, the ratio is 3 to 4. So if I told you that there were that in the school there were 30 boys, the way I would find out, and then I would say how many girls. So with that ratio, if there are 30 boys, then there are X girls. Okay, and then I know that you can easily tell that 3 times 10 is 30, so therefore 4 times 10 is 40, and you would be correct. But I'm trying to use simple numbers here. So the way I would solve this is I would create this is called the proportion. Okay, so you create the proportion where boys and girls are lined up. So the girls are all down here, right? 4 girls, and we're wanting to know how many girls total in the whatever 6th grade class, 7th grade class. And the boys, there's 3. So for every 3 boys, there's 4 girls. There are 30 boys. So now we're going to cross multiply. And I know Mrs. Waterway, I believe, teaches you guys kind of to think of it as like a butterfly, and I could be wrong. But you're going to cross multiply. And so 3 times x is 3. We write that as 3x. And 30 times 4 is 120. And now we solve for x by dividing by 3. Okay, so then we end up with x is equal to 40. So once we have this proportion, we can solve that. So now, putting it in a table, if I have boys and girls, then I have 3 boys for every 4 girls. And what about total? So what if I said there are a total of 500 kids that go to the school, right? So first of all, so if I say that, then I need to know, and I want to know how many boys, so I need to know boys to total. So the boys would be 3, and the total will be 3 plus 4, which is 7. So I would put a 7 here. I said total, right? So this total, so I'm going to line it up here. Total in the school are 500 kids, and I want to know how many boys. So that's how I'd set up my proportion. Again, I would do my butterfly cross multiplying, and I'd get 7x is equal to 1,500 and figure that out. Okay, but I want you to pay attention to this chart over here really quickly. So to continue the chart, then I would have put total 500 here, right? And the boys would have ended up being, well, let's actually do that. 1,500 divided by what, 7? So that would be, I don't know, 200 and some. We'll just say 200. I'm not going to do the math. I'm trying to figure this out. Or I'm trying to move on here in 2 seconds. And then we'd find girls by setting up the same thing, only making this 4 and cross multiplying with the 4 with girls. So hopefully that's going to make more sense, hopefully, here in a second. So I'm going to erase this all. If you missed that, the whole point is to do it. The whole point was to do it with simple numbers. I lost my recording there, so the whole point was to do it with simple numbers so that this will make more sense. Okay, so here's what's going on. We've got a ratio, and they want to know a total. So a store sells 2¼ pounds of mulch. 2¼ pounds of mulch for every. So for every is a perfect word for this is a ratio. Okay, the ratio of mulch to gravel is 2 1/4 to 1 1/2. Okay, and then the store sells 180 pounds of mulch and gravel combined, keyword combined, which means total. So let's set this up. We've got mulch, and we've got gravel, and we want to know total. Okay, so mulch, just much like, or we could look at it like this, mulch and to gravel. And I'm going to turn these into improper fractions. So this is an improper fraction, will be 9/4. This is an improper fraction, will be 3/2. So 9/4 over 3/2 is kind of like the boys to girls was 3/4. This one is a fraction. It's 9/4 to 3/2. Okay, so let's write this in our table, 9/4 to 3/2. So the total is adding it. 9/4 plus 3/2, and I'm going to turn this 3/2 into 6/4 so that I have a common denominator, and that is going to equal 15/4. Okay, so my ratio, so now it asks me how many pounds of each of them was sold, of each, if I sell 180. So if I go over here to this thing, I need to know 180, and then it wants to know what are these two things. Well, the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to set up my proportions. Okay, let's do that in black just so we can kind of separate it. So for mulch is equal to 9/4 over this total, right? Because I want to know mulch to total. The total was 15/4. 15/4, and the total amount that I sold is this 180. Combined total 180, and then X goes up here. Now I'm going to cross multiply, and I'm going to get 9/4 times 180, and (9/4) times 180, which is 405. And then I have 15/4 times X, or 15/4 X. And then hopefully you remember to solve this equation. I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 15/4 because it's the same as keep, change, flip if I were to divide by 15/4. Right? So then these all cancel out, becoming 1, leaving me with X. And then I have to multiply both sides by this 4/15, I'm sorry. So I am going to use my trusty calculator here because of time. If you're having trouble with how to do this with fractions, please let me know. And that would be 108. So I just figured out mulch is 108. And I'm going to do the same with gravel, okay? I want you guys to figure that one out, but I will help you set it up. So gravel to total is going to equal the 3/2. I'm going to use 3/2 again. I don't need to use the 6/4. So I'm going to use 3/2 over 15/4. I'm sticking with this base top ratio, is equal to 180 over X. And then you're going to cross multiply and figure that out. So I expect everybody to figure this out. This is a big, huge, great problem. It tells you how to do everything. If you don't understand this, please come see me in class. Talk to you later.